where I asked Chief Reverend what I should speak about, and he said that several years ago, Chief Reverend Victor Wee and I went round the country giving talks on what we thought was a very highly successful series of talks from Singapore right up to Penang on common misconceptions about Buddhism. All right? Common misconception. What we did was we sent out questionnaires and asked people, what are the questions you have never wanted to ask, you have never dared to ask because you thought they were very silly. A lot of people dare not ask questions because other people will laugh at them. That also you don't know one now. You know? And the classic to my mind silly question that was asked last year when Chief Reverend asked the audience, okay, what question do you want to ask? And this girl stood up, I hope she's not around, but she stood up and she said, Chief Reverend, I have a Christian friend, and my Christian friend says, Jesus Christ gives light to me all the time. Does your Buddha give light to you? And I said, what a question. But later, when I thought about it, it's not such a silly question. You see? It is a question that people are really concerned about. And, you see, this is the problem with a lot of Buddhists. When questions are asked, we do not know how to answer them. We say, yeah lah. I also tell you some more, no, Buddhism worse one, no. You see, what we do is we tambah lagi. Alright? And we do ourselves far greater damage. Alright? So, since I have so little time, I will take the first question. And you will see how really deep these questions are. I'm taking this question, just listen to the question, yeah? How did the Buddha realize enlightenment without revelation or divine inspiration? Now that question is a very, very deep question because in many ways Buddhism is unique. Many things that the Buddha said, no religious teacher said before him and no religious teacher has said after him. That why Buddhism is so difficult to follow is because of this. Now one of the things that the Buddha said was, that he gained enlightenment by his own efforts. Nobody helped him. Nobody revealed anything to him. Nobody had any message to give him to reveal to the world. Now the question was, if the Buddha did gain enlightenment, how did he get it without external help? Alright? Because we know that if we want to go and send a letter, we can't do it ourselves. The least we have to do is buy a 30-cent stamp and put it on the post. So we need help. We cannot live alone. But how did the Buddha do it? By himself. Not only that, the Buddha not only did it himself, here again, me when he said, we can do it as well. And that's where he said, yeah, by ourselves is evil done, by ourselves become we pure. Yeah? We ourselves must walk the path. The Buddhas merely show the way. Buddhism is unique again in that only in Buddhism I do told that no amount of external help will help you. Alright? So the question is, how did the Buddha get this enlightenment without external help? The Buddha started his career millions and millions and millions of lifetimes ago. Now, he made this first decision, I've told you this story before, that one day this is many millions, and to give you an idea of how many million lifetimes ago, he said, the number of times he was born with a body, the bones of those bodies, if you could collect all the bones of those bodies and put them in one peak, they will be higher than Mount Everest. The number of tears that came out of his body, if you could collect them, would be deeper than an ocean. So it is incalculable the number of times, lifetimes, he had to go through as a bodhisattva. Now, the very first time he got this, we call it the bodhicitta. The bodhicitta means the energy, the thought that I want to become a Buddha. All of you have it. The fact that you are sitting down here, the fact that you are prepared to listen, when there are so many better things to do, like jumping around in the disco or eating yourself sick in the restaurant, you have decided to come here and sit in these very uncomfortable conditions to listen. You have the bodhicitta. You have the potential. You have the innate, you're born with it, the potential to want to become a better human being. Right. The Buddha had this. He was traveling in a boat. There was a very big storm. The boat capsized. The Buddha, the Bodhisattva, he carried his mother on his shoulder and he started swimming in the sea. He had no sense of direction. But he went on and on and on, and he said, I am not going to give up. All right. When he said, I'm not going to give up, the gods above saw this, and they were very impressed, because he said, I want to save my mother. He did not think about himself. He said, I must save my mother. With that intention, he said, I'm going to swim, until I reach land. Okay. The Deva saw this, was very impressed, and the Deva helped him to reach land, and he saved his mother. That point, the Buddha said, if I could have used so much of my energy to save one person, how much more wonderful it would be if I could save the whole world. Then came the bodhicitta. He had the determination. And he decided from then on, without 1 minute losing his determination, he would keep to the path. Now, how did the Buddha realize enlightenment? Number one, with determination. It's not something for the soft-hearted. All right, one. From that moment till the day he gained enlightenment, the Buddha never spoke an untruth. You know the kind of discipline it takes not to tell a lie. Sometimes you don't even want to tell a lie because you don't want to hurt somebody. Somebody asks me, very fat no lah, not fat lah. Yeah? Just a little bit stout only, but you eat less, it'll be okay, no. But you have already told a lie because what you should say is, yes, you are fat, now stop, go and run and come back to me in 5 weeks' time. That's what you should say, but you don't say it. Even that. You see, the Buddha never used his tongue to hurt anyone. Alright? And that is why at the end of every sutra we say, Etena Satyavajena, by the truth of that. Because the words that we recite during sutra chanting are the words that were uttered by the Buddha. They were uttered by a human being who never said an untruth for million lifetimes. Now, see the power of that word. A word that has never spoken the untruth. So, the Buddha's determination, his determination never to speak an untruth, and you see, you know that there was not only one Buddha, there were more than one Buddha. There were 25 Buddhas. Alright? We say 28, we recite the names of 28 Buddhas. Alright? But the Buddha, our Buddha is different from other Buddhas. All are Buddhas. And you know, they are all Samma Sambuddha. There are many types of Buddhas. One is the Pacceka Buddha. These are Buddhas who have gained the same attainment as our Buddha. But they cannot teach. They are silent Buddhas. Alright? Alright, that's one type of Buddha. Then we have the Arahant. As you know, the Arahants are saints, the pure ones. And all the Buddha's disciples, Moggallana, Sariputta, all of them were Arahants. They had the same achievement as our Buddha. Alright? So Arahant, Pacceka Buddha, and finally Samma Sambuddha. Samma Sambuddha means the fully enlightened one. Not only can he understand the Dhamma, but he can also share it. That's why he is Samma, complete, fully enlightened. And of those, very, very rare. But our Buddha is not the only one. Now, how did he become that Buddha? Other Buddhas developed by their intelligence. Other Buddhas developed their intelligence in order to become Samma Sambuddha. Our Buddha used Vijaya. He used energy. He used effort. So the Jataka stories, one after another, shows how the Buddha practiced the 10 perfections. The 10 perfections, the 10 paramis. He practiced these 10 perfections, life after life after life after life, using every inch of effort that he had. And then he became the Buddha. How did he realize? Oh, by the way, the fact that he used energy and another Buddha used Virya does not make any difference. Whether you use Caltex or whether you use Esso, your car will still run. Alright? Whatever the manufacturers say, the performance is the same. And this is the same. The Buddhas are exactly the same. They are all Samma Sambuddha. There is no difference in their attainment. The method was different. So our Buddha is recognized for the effort that he used. Then, the What is the teaching of the Buddha? What he practiced was what he taught. This is another unique thing about the Buddha. Whatever he taught his fellow human beings, you, me, and the Buddha, we all belong to the same race. He is not different from us. This is important to know. This is what gives us hope. Now, the Buddha did not, he did not in any way change his mind halfway or whatever. Alright? He just went right through and he said, this is what I'm going to do, I am not going to change my mind. Alright? He practiced the 10 paramis. And one of the most important of the paramis was never to tell an untruth. Now, then having gained enlightenment, he was asked, what are you teaching? What is the complete summary of your teaching? He said, I only teach 3 things. To do good, and he did that for millions of lifetimes. While you are doing good, he was actively, and this is important, he was actively fighting against doing evil. So the more good you do, alright, the less chance there is for evil. The more good thoughts you have, you develop, the less bad thoughts can come in. Okay? So, to do good, not to do evil. It does not mean as long as I do good, I can forget about evil. Tak boleh. While you are doing good, you are at the same time fighting evil. So it requires a lot of energy. Okay, to do good, not to do evil. Then you're going to ask me, so what's so new? Every religion says don't do evil. Right? Every religion says do good. Right? So what is so unique about Buddhism? Excuse me, I'm going off. No, wait. Belum habis lagi. That's where we become unique one more time. To purify the mind. That is the difficult one. That is the difficult one. To purify the mind. What does purify the mind mean? It means to rid your mind of all thoughts that do not lead to realization. So the Buddha over millions of lifetimes had only one thing in mind, to purify the mind. How does he do it? Through meditation. There is no other way. You cannot purify your mind by going to a restaurant and saying, I'm going to enjoy this food, but I will not enjoy it. I will not think about it. No way. You've got to meditate. But in the restaurant, you can meditate. Yes, you can. Because if you concentrate only on the eating, alright, and what goes in, the chewing, the going in, the coming in, and the complete awareness. If you are completely aware of this one thing, then your mind is focused. Alright? And that is meditation. When your mind is focused, all other thoughts cannot come in. When all other thoughts cannot come in, your mind is calm. And then, Panya Udapati. Then comes the moment when the wisdom will come from inside of you. How did the Buddha get his enlightenment? It did not come from outside. You all have the Bodhicitta. The Buddha had the Bodhicitta. Through millions of lifetimes, he created the environment, the conditions for the development of complete knowledge. Udapati, Panya arises. Okay? So that is how the Buddha gained his enlightenment without help from anyone. You know that at the age of 29, the Buddha left his palace and he went looking for different teachers. He went to the best teachers. There were 62 religious systems in India. One of the reasons the Buddha was born in India, because it was at that time that India was the richest place for religious thought. Every kind of religious practice was prevalent in India. Belief in a God who creates on the one extreme, and on the other extreme that there is no creator at all. One extreme, everything is created by God, and on this was called, and then this God, when you die, you can live forever. They were called the eternalists. And even today we have religions which are eternalists. You are born, you die, and then you go to heaven or to hell forever and ever. One. On the other side, you have the nihilists. The nihilists say, hey, don't worry lah, you enjoy now, you die, you go. After all, you're not coming back. You can bring me one person who has come back to say, there is something over there, let me know. Yeah, there's a beautiful Shakespeare play, Hamlet, where Hamlet once is thinking of committing suicide. And he says, to sleep. Yeah, to sleep. Aye, that's the end. If you just dying, I take this dagger, I poke it in, and it's just like sleeping. He says, then there's an end. To sleep, the chance to dream. Aye, there's the rub. If you dream, what happens? Sleep is no problem. But if you dream, and if that dream is not a good dream, aha, I better come back. You see? And so Hamlet decides, no, I cannot. Because I will go into a land from which no one has returned. So, nihilists and eternalists. And the Buddha went to all of them. And he found they were all teaching philosophy. Not one of them was teaching what to do with the problem now. Then he said, okay, I'm going on my own. 6 years he went off on his own. He tried everything. Now as a prince he has had his best enjoyment. Didn't give him the answers. As an ascetic he had the most austere self-deprivation. He tortured his body. No answer. He was so hungry he couldn't think. Then he decided, look, too much fun, too much suffering is not going to give me the answer. Let me choose the middle path. The middle path means eat because your body needs food. So if your body has food, only will your mind be active. So he took that meal from Sujata. And then, as you saw, how Keanu Reeves gained enlightenment. All right? In Little Buddha. Okay? That was a beautiful scene, was it not? That the lights coming through. I wish it had lasted just a little bit longer. But if you go to the small commercial, tomorrow we'll be at the Wesak, what is it? The stadium, and our temple, we are doing a little bit of that. And it's calling it Maya. I think they're rehearsing it now. I wish I could go and see it. But I think it'll be very beautiful. Please go and see. Okay? It's called Maya. It's playing with lights. Okay. Now, so, question. How did the Buddha gain his enlightenment without external help? He got it by his own effort. He found the answers by himself. And this is a condition of Buddhahood. The Buddha has to discover the truth by himself. No one can teach him. He went to all the teachers. They couldn't help him. He went there. He sat down and Panya Udapadi. Wisdom arose from within him. Nobody helped him. Having done that, he taught you. Having Having taught you, he warned you, I can only show you the way. You want to follow my path, you must walk. And the example we always use is the doctor can only give you the medicine. He cannot drink it for you. If you want to get cured, you cannot say, doctor, I pay you extra, you drink the medicine. Or better still, doctor, I've got cancer, you please operate yourself because I don't want the pain. It cannot be. You must suffer the pain. You must take the action to become a Buddha Yuva. So I hope I have explained why we do not believe that external forces can help you, why we are unique in that we believe that all of us can do exactly what the Buddha did. Alright? And there is no difference between the two. Alright? And that was one question. There are altogether 24 questions, and I do not intend to stay here until Vesak Day. Alright? Next question. There's no order in this. We just pick them up as we came. Alright? If rites and rituals are not encouraged in Buddhism, why do we organize and practice them? Very common question. Not just by young children, but by adults. And I understand here in the audience today there are people that have just come to the temple for the first time. Welcome. And maybe you would want to know. Buddhists, when the Buddha gained enlightenment, I told you for 6 years he tortured his body. He followed every possible form of self-torture in order to purify the mind. It was believed by one school of thought that the body is the cause of all our problems. The body is the panjara of the jiva. The body is the prisoner, the jail of the soul. Now, if you torture the body, and it's the body that does all the work. Alright? The body does all the work. It's the body that goes and touches things that it's not supposed to touch. It's the body that goes and takes the $100, not you. So what you do is you punish the body. And the more you punish the body, the freer your mind becomes. The Buddha said no. From experience, he knew that will not work. Alright? So, he followed all the rituals, he found rituals couldn't help him. He prayed to all the gods, he found the gods could not help him. Then he said, I have to do it on my own. Right? And after he gained enlightenment, the Buddha went to Isipatana. He went looking for his 5 friends who left him because he started eating. Right? He went there and he gave his first sermon, the Dhammacakkappavattana Sutra. And in that first sermon, he said, he gives a summary of his teaching. This is why the Buddha is an excellent teacher. He gives his syllabus on the first day. And then for 45 years, he just follows that syllabus. Yeah? And this we are talking 2,500 years ago. What was his syllabus? His syllabus was the 4 Noble Truths and the Noble Eightfold Path. He says, from now until my time is up, I'm only going to teach you this thing. I know so much. You know the thing about how he picked up the handful of leaves and he said, I'm only teaching you what is in my hand. What I know is all the leaves in the forest. He taught the essential. The essential was to make you understand you are here now, you are in a mess. Get out of it. Don't worry about who made you, where you came from, what is going to happen after you die. Don't worry about the past. Don't worry about the future. Just control your mind now. giving you a minute to control your mind now. Look, Okay, all those of you are worried whether you switched off your light or your car lights are on, I hope you came back. Worry about it now. Don't worry about it, what happened before. Don't worry about what's going to come. All right? So he remained in the present. All right. And he taught that salvation does not come by ritual. If you follow, you know the famous story of the seagull over the sutra, which is the householder, the advice to the householder. This young man was seen bowing to the 6 directions, north, south, east, west, up and down. And so the Buddha stopped and asked him, young man, what are you doing? He says, I am paying respects to the 6 directions. And it was, then the Buddha said, why? He said, don't know. Then why are you doing it? Mak kata, bapak kata, aku buat lah. You see? So, then the Buddha said, the Buddha didn't say, you playful, don't do all this nonsense, what kind of, you come to me, I'll teach you the proper way. No. What he did was, he gave meaning to the ritual. He gave meaning. He said, when you bow to the north, it does not mean bow to the north physically. It means respect your parents. So even if you don't do this, don't worry. If you respect your parents, you are bowing to the north. It is more important to practice the meaning than the action. That is what he said. Then he goes around and tells about all the other sutras, what you have to do. I won't go into that. But in his first sermon, he said that ritual cannot help to save us. Alright? So we have to beware of thinking that by following rituals or by following certain actions in certain way, and if we do it wrong, that's wrong. He says none of that can help you. And it makes you look undignified. Alright? So he says, what you have to do is to develop the mind, right understanding. You must know what you want. Alright? Purify the mind. That's what you got to go for. Alright? However, after the Buddha died, even during his lifetime, there were certain very beautiful actions that are performed which help to calm the mind. For example, putting flowers before a Buddha image. That's one ritual. Lighting the candles, the oil, the joss sticks. These are all very lovely rituals. But they don't stop at that. In Buddhism, we don't offer flowers to the Buddha. What we do is, there is a Buddha image which we don't pray to, which is only helps us to remember a man just like us who gained enlightenment. Okay? We look at him, we offer the flowers and remember his teaching. His teaching is, just as these flowers are so beautiful and attractive now, they will fade away and die. Just as I am beautiful and attractive now, I will fade away and die. So I will not waste my money buying Reeboks. Alright? Yes, may as well wear an ordinary slipper. It performs the same function. If you go to night market and buy tipu one, okay lah, makes you happy. But you see, that's what the Buddha taught. So in Buddhism, yes, we have ritual. Because as the religion developed, we practice certain actions which gives us an identity, number one. And when we all perform it together, we get a sense of friendship. This is what Boy Scouts do during campfire. Everybody sits together, everybody enjoys, everybody gets help, strength from each other. So when we do this together, right. Another thing is, when we all perform the same ritual together, there is order. Can you imagine us having a Buddha Puja where you bring flowers and then you decide to come and walk backwards? And then just as you leave, you want to go the same way, somebody comes and knocks you. Then somebody else decides he wants to light candles all the way right up to the top. And other people decide they want to light candles on either of Buddha's shoulders because that's the way they like it. If everybody did what he wanted, it's not going to be very easy. If somebody decided he wants to bathe the Buddha while the chanting is going on. So what we have done is, we have given standardized behavior. But there is no magic in the ritual. Just because you light the lamp and then you go home and scold your mother, you are not going to get forgiven. There is no magic. You light the lamp, don't go and cross the cemetery just because you light the lamp. Alright? So, of course you can cross the cemetery, there's nothing there. Alright? The dangerous ones are all walking here, not in the cemetery. Alright? So, why do we practice rituals? To give us an identity, to uniform behavior, and by that uniform behavior, we are helped to calm the mind, and when we calm the mind, we are ready to be able to more effectively meditate. Because in Buddhism, the only medicine is meditation. Different forms of meditation. Sitting down is one. Breathing is one. Walking is one. Living is the everyday meditation. Whether you are in the toilet, whether you are eating, whether you are in the office, you must be meditating all the time. And what does that meditation mean? Whatever you are doing, pay full concentration to it. While you are doing this, don't think about something else. That is meditation in your everyday life. Every time you come to the temple and you practice it here, you strengthen that. So Buddhist rituals have a great deal of dignity. They do not promise you anything. They only promise to make you a better, more controlled, more serene person on the inside. There was a time when the bell used to ring right through the flower presentation ceremony, and Chief stopped it because he says, how can you meditate when this thing is going and your mind is trying to get calm? That is why Chief said, 1, 2, 3, okay, everybody knows they have to line up. You see? But if you wanted to dance, of course, that is very nice, and then disturb all the neighbors. So that's why we only have the bell rung 3 times. And instead of that, we have the monk reciting the names of the 28 Buddhas. Did you know that? When you are lining up for the flowers to come to the altar, the monk says certain things. He's reciting the names of the 28 Buddhas. What are you supposed to do? You are supposed to bring each of the Buddhas to mind. They can't help you. All that you have to do is bring it to mind, and then your mind becomes calm. The only medicine in Buddhism is calmness, serenity, peace. If you got that, you can conquer any world. Okay? I think that's only 2 questions. There's 24 questions. And this is how we went round. And after that, we opened up for discussion. It was very, very useful. I will report to Chief that we have this again. Now what I want to do is to read for you. It will only take about 7 or 8 minutes, and then we can stop. And after that, you will be going for the Bodhi Puja, which is not a ritual, all right? But but it is concentrating our minds on the Bodhi tree and the devas that live around the Bodhi tree, so that with the good thoughts that we radiate, these radiations of good thought will help Chief. It's not medicine, all right? It is just a radiation of powerful, peaceful thoughts. And any doctor will tell you the best medicine for any disease is peace. Okay? Right. The following is a forceful speech made by a Red Indian warrior. It was delivered by Red Jacket in 1805, nearly 200 years ago, at a council of chiefs of the Six Nations, after a white missionary had addressed them. Okay? Or incidentally, the reason I pick up this is if people ask you now, why do you Buddhists burn joss sticks and lights? I hope you know what to tell them. Yeah? And tell them the Buddha does not give us light. The light is inside of us, it comes out by itself. Tell them Panya Udapadi, they will run. Okay. This is a Red Indian chief speaking, a barbarian 200 years ago, speaking to a white missionary. Friend and brother. It was the will of the Great Spirit that we should meet together this day. He orders all things and given us a fine day for our council. He has taken his garment from before the sun and caused it to shine with brightness upon us. Our eyes are open that we see clearly. Our ears are unstopped that we have been able to hear distinctly the words you have spoken. For all these favors, we thank the Great Spirit and Him only. Brother, this council fire was lit by you. It was at your request that we came together at this time. We have listened with attention to what you have said. You requested us to speak our minds freely. This gives us great joy, for now we consider that we stand upright before you and can speak what we think. All have heard your voice, and all speak to you now as one man. Our minds are agreed. Brother, listen to what we say. There was a time when our forefathers owned this great land. Their seeds extended from the rising to the setting sun. The Great Spirit had made it for the use of Indians. He created the buffalo, the deer, and other animals for food. He made the bear and the beaver. Their skins served us for clothing. He scattered them over the country and taught us how to take them. He caused the earth to produce corn and bread. All this he had done for his red children because he loved them. If we had some disputes about our hunting ground, they were generally settled without the shedding of much blood. But an evil day came upon us. Your forefathers crossed the great water and landed on this island. Their numbers were small. They found friends, not enemies. They told us they had fled from their own country for fear of wicked men and had come here to enjoy their religion. They asked for a small seat. We took pity on them, granted their request, and they sat down among us. We gave them corn and meat, they gave us poison in return. Brother, our seeds were once large and yours was small. You have now become a great people, and we have scarcely a place left to spread our blankets. You have got our country, but you are not satisfied. You want to force your religion upon us. Brother, continue to listen. You say that you are able to instruct us how to worship the Great Spirit agreeable to His mind. And if we do not take hold of the religion which you white people teach, we shall be unhappy thereafter. You say you are right and we are lost. How do we know this to be true? We understand that your religion was written in a book. If it was intended for us as well as you, why has not the Great Spirit given to us? And not only to us, but why did He not give our forefathers the knowledge of that book with the means of understanding it rightly? We only know what you tell us about it. How shall we know when to believe, being so often deceived by the white people? Brother, you say there is but one way to worship and serve the Great Spirit. If there is but one religion, why do you white people differ so much about it? Why not all agree, as you all can read the book? Brother, we do not understand these things. We are told that your religion was given to your forefathers and has been handed down from father to son. We also have a religion which was given to our forefathers and handed down to us, their children. We worship in that way. It teaches us to be thankful for all the favors we receive, to love each other, to be united. We never quarrel about our religion. Brother, the Great Spirit has made us all. But He has made a great difference between His white and His red children. He has given us different complexions and different customs. To you, He has given the arts. To these, He has not opened our eyes. We know these things to be true, since He has made so great a difference between us in other things. Why may we not conclude that He has given us a different religion according to our understanding? The Great Spirit does right. He knows what the white people in this place. These people are our neighbors. We are acquainted with them. We will wait a little while and see what effect your preaching has upon them. If that it does them good, makes them honest, less disposed to cheat Indians, we will then consider again of what you have said. Brother, you have now heard our answer to your talk. This is all we have to say at present. As we are going to part, we will come and take you by the hand and hope the Great Spirit will protect you on your journey and return you safe to your friends. Can we give such a noble reply to those who want to impose their ideas on us? I'm saying this because we are now faced with a little problem, which is Buddhists going around trying to impose Buddhism down the throats of people who don't want to listen. Please remember, if you want to do conversion in Buddhism, just convert people to become better people. There is nothing for us to gain by getting hundreds of people here to change their religion and converting them. Alright? If anybody wants to become a Buddhist, it must be from the way you behave. If you are a noble, happy, serene, calm person, people say, why is he so happy? Then they want to be like you, let them follow you. But do not push Buddhism down other people's throats. Just remember, alright, they are red Indians, just like we were at one time. That, brothers and sisters, concludes today's Dhamma talk. I hope it was of some use to you. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Proceed to the
all our region dominate the terrain. Valley heights range from 8,000 to 15,000 feet. Passes reach 20,000 feet, and the mountain peaks 25,000 feet. Those who believe in Jesus Christ for Holy Ghost.
Tôi thấy là擺壞咗啦，睇兩個又進瞓嘅入咗去，
愛得啦。
唔係冇得 production 喎，牛嘅瞓翻牛，變態。呢邊係咪？呢邊係咪好靚？好靚 ，OK 啊，OK 啦，